we only introduce bias in terms of image captions from the subreddit, which are later matched with randomly generated ink blots. Therefore, no image of a real person dying was utilized in this experiment. Okay, so what they did, this is interesting, because they created the empathy machine. Now they created Norman, which is the anti-empathy machine. And this is part of the alchemical process. As above, so below. Empathy, sociopathology. They're good creator gods. They have to create both. Am I right? So, here's what Norman says about these Rorschach. So the standard AI sees, this is an AI, standard AI, looks at it recognizes the pattern in the Rorschach, a group of birds sitting on top of a tree branch. Norman AI, a man is electrocuted and catches to death. Inkblot number 2, standard AI, a close-up of a vase with flowers. Norman says a man is shot dead. Inkblot 3, a couple of people standing next to each other. Norman says man jumps from floor window. Inkblot 4, a black and white photo of a small bird. Norman says man gets pulled into a dough machine. Where does he get that one from? Inkblot 5, a couple of people standing next to each other. That's the standard A. Norman says a pregnant woman falls at a construction story. And it goes on and on and on. Norman is pathological, and he's evil. And they created him. And this is where we are. I think Norman is probably a tame example of what they're working on inside of the MIT labs and other labs across the country. Caltech, Stanford, you name it. There's some shit going down in AI. But don't worry. Elon Musk is here to save us. Because, what is it, 2029? He's going to have Neuralink up and running. So we'll be able to jack in and keep right up there with the AIs. Absolutely. So we may be able to channel a supreme sociopathic or psychopathic self and use it in the service of good. Use it for the light. Channeling psychopathology for light. There's been a whole series of TV shows about that, by the way. Dexter was about that. He's a serial killer, but he's using his serial killing instincts for the good. Revenge. And it's very Hammurabi. It's the Hammurabi code. You could be a serial killer as long as you take out bad people. It's okay. Walter White. Breaking Bad. Another one of these kinds of bad dudes. He's doing a bad thing so he can help his kid who's got cancer. It's this weird kind of justification piece that we seem to have morphed into. I think a lot of that got some speed with Inglourious Basterds, revenge porn. We can kill Nazis because it's a moral thing to do. We could be just as psychopathic. We can unleash our psychopathic tendencies in the service of defeating psychopaths. AI is the elephant in the room. Sick minds. I think it's AI, man. The thing with AI is that it has absolutely no... I don't think... I could be wrong, but I'm going to use Christians as a baseline. I don't think you get a lot of Christians in there creating AI. I just don't. If they do, I would assume if they were, to the letter Christians, that they would use some principles in the creation of their AI. I'm not so sure that that's really taking place. I think that field, with the exception of Eric, I love Eric. Eric's one of the few people who can handle AI. And I know he listens to this show. And that's because Eric's a Virgo. We all know that Virgos have a high degree of morality and purity. So if we take Eric out of that, and Charles, take Charles out of that too, because Charles is a good friend, even though he is a Gemini. He struggles with the light and dark. That's what happens. I think the last thing I wanted to touch on today, as we are here on a Friday, which is generally news day, is the growing drama that's taking place in Idlib over in Syria. Just keep your eyes on it. Send a lot of, really good energy. Send some peaceful prayers into that part of the world, so that we're not there protecting Al Qaeda, because that's essentially what we're doing. And let's see if we can just completely move this Syria situation right off of the geopolitical map at some point. I mean, that's really what I'm hoping and praying for. The other thing to keep your eye out for is there are rumors that Trump is going to fire, what's his name, Bob Mueller, after this storm hits. And the rumors are pretty strong. So keep your eyes on that. That's a story that we're going to have to watch, because it's going to have a trigger effect that'll take place all throughout mainstream media, social media, and the ranks of the left and the ranks of the right. It'll be a very pivotal moment in the history of this country if and when Trump does pull the trigger on Mueller. And I personally think he should. And I'm not sitting here advocating for Trump. I was having a conversation this morning about what a raw deal he's given the Palestinians. I don't agree with it at all. I think the Palestinians deserve a lot better than what they're getting. I'm not down the party line around how the Palestinians are treated and how Israel must protect itself. I mean, literally, one side's got slingshots, and the other side has Iron Dome. Anyway, but I do advocate the fact that they end this charade with Mueller, and the sooner the better. And it may stir up more shit, but they're going to stir up more shit anyway. That's the way it is. That's the way it's been even before Trump was elected. They had him in the crosshairs, and this was going to be part of the strategy. And this is what we're dealing with. And I personally, frankly, even though I don't agree with a lot of Trump's foreign policy, it's got to come to an end. We have to put an end to this. We have to be able to put a full stop on it so we can move on. Move on. There's nothing impeachable that they found. Nothing. If there were, it would have happened already. They would have had articles of impeachment. Maybe they have to get a House majority to do that so they can slam it through. Maybe that's what they're waiting on. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. Personally, I could be wrong here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Republicans they're going to cover by a very small margin. Very, very small, but I think they're going to cover. And that's when all hell's going to break loose. In the meantime, I want to just bring up this really interesting dynamic that I think myself and a lot of you are engaged in. And it's a real dance, I've been working with some clients lately because, I'm an astrologer and I work with people. That's what I do. This is my side hustle. This is my therapy. So I've been working with some clients on the astrological side. And one of the things that I've really been advocating for them is to do what makes them happy. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying indulge. Like, well, if having a beer and a couple of shots of Jack in the morning makes you happy, by all means go do it. I'm not really advocating that. Okay? Although I'm sure there's a place for that at some point in one's life. I wouldn't completely rule that out. But as an everyday kind of thing, no. What I'm referring to is finding out what your happy place is. What brings you happiness? If you can do something with your life that would make you happy, what is it? And it doesn't have to be grandiose. I had a young guy that I was doing a session with in Australia. You know, we got down to it. I said, what makes you happy? What would make you happy? And he said, well, I'd like to live on a farm and get off the grid and live with my family. There you go. That's it. That's easy. That's doable. You know. So I told him, get a picture of a farm that you like, blow it up, and start putting things and people that you love inside that picture, and you put that by your workspace every single day. That's your happy place right there. It's externalized. It's externalized. So I did that yesterday with another client, and dropping down into a deeper place where all kinds of personal it's like we put a lot of pressure and expectations on ourselves that we have to be a certain thing or do a certain thing. And if we get really, really clear about who we are and what we do or what we're capable of or what we want, in many instances, it doesn't match up with what it is that we really, really want. So if you can drop that, which is doable, and drop into that thing that makes you happy, your life is better. Your life is better. Your life is better. And when your life is better, our lives are better. And if we had a planet of happy people, and I'm not talking head in the sand, narcoticized, medicated people. I'm talking about genuinely happy people that know what's going on in the world and understand sort of what's happening in the big picture, and then have the courage and the conviction to move forward in their lives to be happy, then we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. And so, I want to urge you, I want to urge all of you to begin to think about that. What makes you happy? How can you get there and stay there? And how can you allow it to transmit joy into your life and become something infectious with other people in a good way? We're coming up on the autumnal equinox, and that's about balance and balance in one's life, and achieving the balance between what we do and what we see in this world, because we know that those scales and the scales of illusion are falling before our very eyes. It's happening. It's happening right now. It cannot be denied. And how can you maintain your balance and affirm and decree that you still move towards this internal pattern that you have in order to experience happiness and share it with others? This is really the Dharma that we're working on. And some people have some real challenges. Some people have physical challenges. Some people have locational challenges. And we're here to work through some of those. But ultimately, we can find that place in that space that makes us kind of, for lack of a better term, better people all around. And I'm working on it too. All right, I'm out of here. I'll be back on Sunday night over on the other YouTube channel for the Sunday night astrological live stream. For all 6 of you that joined in and hung out and experienced this and watched and listened, I thank you. Use your head to discern what's real, your heart to say what's possible. I'm Robert Phoenix. Find me at robertphoenix.com and over on Facebook. And have yourself a great Friday and a great weekend.